Wow, so you're getting married. Congratulations. But have you ever thought about what you should expect when kids start coming? Because, of course, if you're getting married, you're not going to be single for the rest of your lives together. You are going to, of course, bring little ones into the world. And that's where the issue is. A lot of people are getting married and really do not know that after the stage of the ceremony, it's down to real business now. And this business, of course, includes you bringing children into the world. A lot of people do not know what to expect or what to do, or just can't wrap their minds on it, on how to be a mother or be a father or just be a parent. But not to worry, I'm going to be bringing to you some points or some tips of what you should expect or what you should know when you decide to have kids. Hello guys, you're welcome to another beautiful day with me on my channel guys.O Talk, and my name is guys.O. I want to use this moment to welcome each and every one of you that has stopped by once again to listen to me. It's a pleasure, and I hope that you get to enjoy what I have to talk about today. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, you might just want to take a moment, stop and subscribe. And while you are at that, do not forget to click on the notification bell. That's because every time I get to post another video or a new video, you'll be notified at your end. I'm a relationship enthusiast, or at least I love to pride myself as one. I create topics on love, life, marriage, and basically everything in general that has to do with relationship. And today I'm going to be talking about what you should expect or what you should know when kids start coming in. So don't worry, just take a seat and relax. And the first point I have to talk about is that once you decide to have kids in your marriage, just know that you and your husband are not going to have that free time you used to have back in the days. You're not going to be having those free leisures or getaways that you used to have just about any time when you're planning. That's because when kids come, they begin to take up more and more and more of your time. And of course, I don't think there's any parent who's going to be so comfortable knowing that her kids or his kids or their kids are with somebody 24/7. Even though we have a number of parents who that will suit their preference. So when you get married and kids start coming, because you are responsible to the upkeep of this child, you're responsible for everything that happens in the life of this child, you're responsible for the health, the safety, the security, you're just responsible to the total taking care package of this child. You're not going to be having those free times to do whatever you want to do. Now if you're somebody who goes to work and you have to rush back from work to look after the child, you know how taxing it is, because while at work you might not be able to give your 100% into what you're doing because your mind is on your kid or your kids, especially if you have kids that are not of your school age yet, whereby they have to go to school and there's a minder there to look after them. But you have maybe kids under the age of 1 at home with a nanny, or well, thank God nowadays we have daycare where you could actually put this kids in. But still, when you come back home, you're still faced with the reality that if you just want to rest, you might not have that time because your resting time is not suiting the time frame of your child's activity. You don't have time to catch up on those late night movies that you used to do before, because at that time when you're catching up on late night movies will be the time maybe you are attending to a newborn baby. And of course a newborn baby's sleep pattern is actually different from ours. And aside that, you'll be damn too tired after the exhaustion of the day's work, which includes your child's upkeep, which includes your activities at work. So when you come back, all you can just think of is you're just diving straight onto your bed to have a nice rest so that the work continues tomorrow. So the second thing that you should know or you should expect is that when you decide to have children, you are 100% responsible to the outcome of the child's lifestyle. You're responsible to how the child is going to turn up in future, and that's because you are the first part of knowledge or education that a child has to learn from. So a situation whereby you've decided to have children, if you had one or two negative or bad characters or whatever characters that you think you wouldn't want your children or your child to emulate from, you're not going to be working on yourself to let go of those vices, let go of those negative vibes, so that your children don't pick it up, and at the end of the day you're going to be seeing a reflection of you in them. So you have to act responsible, and that's the reason why a lot of parents out there have dropped so many things that they were doing when they were single or in the early days of their marriage. For instance, we get some parents who have some, bad habits that they didn't actually think they were ever going to give up, but because now they're trying to get their acts right, they're trying to be responsible to the little ones they have to drop these things so that their children actually see them as a role model to emulate. There are parents who use foul languages, but because now you're trying to be responsible to these kids you have, they try as much as possible to let go of these foul languages so that the kids don't end up saying those words or using those words that these parents are actually using in the house. So let's move on to the third thing that you should expect or you should not know, and that is your bills are going to increase. They're either going to double, triple, or skyrocket, whatever it is, based on your financial power. Whatever the situation it is, you should know that once you start having children, you start having kids, if you were spending XYZ when it was just you and your wife, have it at the back of your mind that when kids come, XYZ is going to skyrocket. That's because the bills now that you're going to pay are going to be much more than what it was when it was just you and your wife. You're going to be talking about, probably moving to a more bigger place to accommodate you and your family. The more bigger your house is, of course, the more bills you are going to pay for in terms of your electricity, your water, and every other thing that needs to be taken care around the house. You're going to be spending more on feeding, you're going to be spending more on education, you're going to be spending more on health, and of course every other thing that you need to make life easy for you. So have it at the back of your mind that more kids, more money. And that's why I want to use this opportunity to tell parents, if you're considering having a number of kids, you should also consider your take home package. Is it going to be enough to sustain you and your family, or are you just having kids for the sake of having kids, and your kids can actually match up with what you earn as your take home pay, whatever it is. So you should have it at the back of your mind that when you have kids, your bills are going to be going up, 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 and up. So the next point is that there are going to be lots and lots and lots of visits to the hospital. Of course, this is something that you should expect, because from the day that you sign up for antenatal, that day is just the beginning of the many other visits you're going to have at the hospital. You're going to be going to the hospital for a lot of antenatal visits. You're going to be going to the hospital for a lot of checkups, and by the time you bring your little bundle of joy into the world, you're going to be going more often to the hospital, from the day of birth up until the child is able to take care of his or herself. You're going to be going to the hospital lots and lots and lots and lots of more time. You'll be going for immunizations, you will be going for regular check up, and because maybe you are just a first timer, you really don't know basically what your child is going through. So a slight body temperature increase would see you going to the hospital. Your child is having a watery stool or something like that, you're going to the hospital. You're just anything and everything, you're going to the hospital. I remember when I was having my daughters at that early stage, unlike now that though the visits are less frequent, but we still go to the hospital. But at that early stage, basically every day I was in the hospital, because I didn't know what to expect. And any day that we didn't sleep well at night, I'm at the hospital. And of course, it's only normal for you to visit the hospital for what you do not know. So those are one of the things you're going to be expecting, or you should know as a new parent or as a parent, more visits to the hospital. Obviously, there are certain things that you can actually deal with at home. But if you do not know what to do, instead of asking neighbor A or neighbor B, I'd advise that just take that trip to the hospital. So the next thing that you need to know is that you are going to be a referee. Yes, for parents who have more than one child, get ready to step into the boxing ring to separate lots of fights. Look, these fights can be, very annoying. They can be very, taxing. But the good thing about these fights is that this is a time where you get to understand your kids very, very well. I mean, for parents with eagle eyes, these are times to begin to know your kids. You know their strengths, you know their flaws, you know their weaknesses, and try as much as possible to be objective in your settling of disputes, in your settling of cases amongst your kids. The reason is this: when you are very, very objective and straightforward as to your settlement of disputes among your kids, you are not going to leave any child feeling out of place or any child feeling less loved. A lot of times kids actually feel much loved or less loved as a result of the way the parent might have handled the issue. So instead of you always clamping down on one child or the other, try as much as possible to settle them, settle whatever disputes they are having, settle whatever problems it is that they are actually, having at the moment, and try as much as possible to be objective. Listen to each child, attentively. Do not shut this one over this one. Do not shut this other one over this one. Try as much as possible to understand where they are coming from. And even if you are going to, melt out punishment, give out punishment that would, suit the age and the strength of the child. You wouldn't want to go and give your child a punishment that is way, way, way too much, or just, doesn't help the matter. So like I said earlier on, you are going to be a referee when you have kids, and trust me, it's fun because during this time you get to know your kids very well. Another thing you should know is that you are going to be a teacher. You're going to be a lesson teacher, you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be a nurse, you're going to be a tailor, you are going to be everything in one as a parent, and most especially as a mother. This is your line of duty. You're going to be all of them in one. That's just the role of a mother in this scenario. God has, kind of giving us the gift and the ability to, multitask. He has given us the strength to be able to do as many things as possible just under one, roof, of which is what it is to be a mother. So just get ready that it's not every time that your child is, running temperature, that you're going to be running to the hospital. It's not every time that your child comes home from school that he or she is going to be able to do the assignments on their own. You are going to have to sit down with them and put them through. So another point is that you're going to be doing lots and lots and lots of school runs. Yes. Look, once you have children, these are the responsibilities that you've signed up for. You're going to have to displease yourself, or should I say set yourself back a little, because you are going to be living for your children at this moment. So when I talk about the school runs, you are going to have to wake up very early in the morning to prepare breakfast for them. You're going to have to wake up and prepare lunch that they're going to take to school, and you're going to be doing forth and back to school. And when they come home, you're going to sit down with them and attend to their schoolwork, and because you have to know how far they are doing. So when I talk about the school runs, you are going to be attending a lot of PTA meetings, you're going to be attending a lot of drama or quiz or inter-house sport or whatever activities are going on in school. If these were things that you were not doing in the past, get ready that as a parent you are going to be doing it. These are not roles that you're going to designate to somebody else to do. I mean, yes, I know there are a lot of parents who actually designate these roles to maybe nannies or housekeep or in-laws or whoever is living with them. But trust me, you wouldn't want to miss out of your child's activity in school. You'd want to be part and parcel of how your child is faring in school. I, for one, I love it when my children's school are doing one or two functions and I get to attend. It's a way where I get to connect with my children. I get to know their weaknesses, I get to know their strengths. As a matter of fact, I even encourage them to partake in some of these activities in schools so that I get to attend. I just want to be at the forefront of whatever it is that's happening at the school that my child attends. Another point is that I'm sorry, this point actually is not going to favor a lot of people, but the truth has to be said. There's going to be less and less and less interaction between you and your husband at the initial stage, and that's because when you have your kids, you're going to be attending to them more and more and more often, and by the time you're done with these kids, you're all fagged out, you're all worn out, you're tired. And a lot of people have actually said it has actually affected their sexual relationships with their husband. But however way it is, you and your husband have to find a way to balance how you attend to your kids, because you wouldn't want a situation whereby you are attending to the kids and you are neglecting this other side of your your husband or your wife. It's actually going to tell on your relationship if you are not able to balance whatever goes on there. So have it at the back of your mind that there's going to be a hitting point on your relationship with your spouse, which you wouldn't want to, disregard. Another point you should know, or you should expect as a woman when you start having kids, is that your body is going to, be altered. I'm sorry, but this is just the truth. A lot of bodies are going to be altered, but not to worry. When you're done having kids, you can actually work on your body and get back to that banging shape that you want. But you should know that once you start having kids, you're going to put on a lot and lot of weight, and you're going to have it in front. Your boobs are going to, increase in size, and maybe when you stand in front of the mirror, you're not going to like what you see. But the good thing about it is that when you look at yourself, you know that your body didn't just come from nowhere. It's because you have brought life into this world. So that's the beauty about it. But like I said, those are one of the things you should expect when you start having children. Your body is going to increase in size, and maybe when you're done having kids, you could hit the gym, you could watch what you eat, you could watch, so many lifestyles that you might just want to drop by the way, so that you get your body back into shape. So these are the few things I can actually talk about or think about that you should know when you want to have kids, or if you have kids you should know about. Nonetheless, all these things are the beauty and the joy of having kids, and I personally would not trade it for anything. These things that I talked about, when I sit down and I have to reflect on what it is to be a mother, I'm so grateful that I can actually, join a number of women to, experience all these things. It's these are the things that actually make motherhood wonderful. They make motherhood taxing. They make motherhood to be, or should I use the word, to be a parent, very, 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 but don't we all love it? We love it. Just seeing your kids out there doing good and doing fine is the reward for all of this. So it's your girl Obinje. Oh, and I hope you did enjoy my talk today. If you did, give me a thumbs up, and of course, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please and please and please do subscribe to this channel, where I talk about love, life, marriage, and relationship in general. And of course, like I always say, you could add more points to what I just talked about by diving into the comment section and lay down there for us. So till I come your way with some beautiful topic this time again, it's bye.